Okay, this video is on activity 1-1, fractions and decimals, and I have that scanned and saved as a JPEG, so just import it here. You don't have to do this part. Just pulling this in so we can look at it, make life a little easier. Alright, so we got activity 1-1, fractions and decimals. And what we're going to want to do is we're going to use Excel to check our answers. Now you can see I've got all the answers written down here. Let's go over here and we'll just start typing in. I've got a problem. We'll put problem number. Let's just go ahead and move these down so it makes it easier to see. So I did that real quick. What I did was, you can see there's a large crosshair bar. I went and moved until it grabbed on the edge, and you see that the cursor changes to all these little small arrows, and you can just left mouse click that when it's like that and drag it wherever. The big cross is used to select things, so I can select one or more. If I want to select more than one, I just hold down the left mouse key like that. I could do an area if I wanted, but we'll just grab these three, get to the little arrows, and let's just pull it down. Okay, so now I'm just going to scroll down. Problem number 1. Given, so 1/4, that's alright. And we notice we just have 1/4, no equals sign in front. So it thinks it's text, and I know that because I can look up here at the top and say text. So for the answer, we want a decimal number, so I'm just going to type equals 1 divided by 2, hit the enter key, whoops, 1 divided by 4, hit the enter key or the down arrow key. I'll just use down arrow key, and we get 0.25. So problem 2, hit the down arrow key. Now I could just keep entering the numbers, or I can just copy them. So I use my select to select both of them. Now there's a third kind of cursor. So I got the big crosses and I got the little arrow cross cursor. If I move the hold over the mouse over that bottom corner, changes to a dark cross. That's the copy command. So as soon as I left mouse click and hold that down and start dragging, it's going to try and interpret that 1, 2 as a series or a formula. So it says 1, 2, okay, I know what comes after 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's what it's going to do. So problem 2, we have 7/8. I'll just write it in there. I'm just going to right arrow, and now I'm just going to click equals 7 divided by 8. Now this is pretty straightforward stuff for Excel to do, and I know some of you probably were reaching for your apps on your phones to do this. Well, don't do that. Excel is a very powerful tool, and much more powerful for solving things than your phone. Plus you get to see everything that you're doing, and you can upload or cut and paste the answers wherever you want. That's really useful. 9 divided by 16, and it's going to go in this one. And next one is 7/12, and now I'll just come over here and go equals 7 divided by 12. Well, that gave me a lot of 3's on that one. We don't want that many. This just goes on and on and on because 7 doesn't divide into 12, and the 3's are just going to continue. So if I don't want that many, I can come up here to the formatting, and I can increase decimal. No, that's not what I want. Or I can decrease decimal. So let's just click this a few times until we get it down to 4 places after the decimal. That's good. And you notice my nomenclature down here, I have 0.583 with a bar over the top. When you write a bar over the top like that, that just means that that number just keeps going on and on. And the bar is usually just over one number. It could be over 2 numbers. If I had 3, 4 there and had a bar over both of them, that just means the 3, 4 is repeating on and on. Okay, so number 5, 11 divided by 20. I'll just type in equals 11 divided by 20. That's going to be a pretty easy one. So it's giving us all the answers. So we've checked them all. Let's just go ahead and drag this down all the way to number 25. It's going to be all of our problems. We can check them all right here. Now if I didn't like how this was formatted right up against the left, I can change that. And when it's text, it's automatically going to flush everything to the left, and when it's a number, it's automatically going to flush everything to the right. So if I want to, I can highlight all those cells and click this guy right here, center your content. Now I'll just move them to the middle. I like those the way they are. We'll just leave that. Alright, so what's number 6? It says convert the following fractions into percentages. So I think what we can do is just enter in the number equal 1 divided by 4. Let's just enter them in. Now they want percentages, and they're not percentages yet, and I know that, but let's go ahead and enter them all in as decimal numbers. Then we'll just convert them all to percentages in one fell swoop in a minute. Equals 9 divided by 16, and in fact I'm entering the exact same numbers as I already entered up above, but won't worry about that. Now if I want to enter a formula, I can either click the in the cell, or once I'm in the cell I can go click on the formula bar. So we'll enter it up there. Number 9 needs to be 7 divided by 12, down arrow. There we go. And last one, number 10, is equal to 11 divided by 20. Alright, so these are all just the same as before. I can highlight all those with my select tool. And now I'm going to right mouse click and I'm going to go copy. And if I just put it right there, I just select that cell. Now I right mouse click again after selecting with the left mouse click, and there's a bunch of choices. I can just paste them all, and it's going to show me ahead of time what I get. And I can paste them, paste just the values, I can paste just the formulas. I'll just go ahead and paste, it's fine. Now this is still highlighted, and if I want that to go away I can push the escape button. Now the point is to check our answers, and we still haven't got number 6 through number 10 formatted as percentages. But we know Excel's already set up to adjust the data type to whatever we want. Right now it's saying that's a general data type. Saying all these are general data types, so I could say general just means it's going to fit to no matter what it is. I could make those numbers, and I could add some decimal places if I wanted. And on these ones we want percentages, so I can go up here, left mouse click, the drop down pops up, and I can go down here to percentage, pick percentage, and it automatically converts all those decimal numbers to percentages. And you can see that the numbers I have written in here by hand are in fact the same as what we just figured out. Okay, click convert. Let's see, number 11, convert the following decimal numbers into fractions. Alright, so you wouldn't want to, for number 14, you could write that as 375 over 1,000. Yes, and that would be true. That's not what we really want. We really want it in eighths or sixteenths or 32nds or 64ths or things you'd normally see on a measuring tape, something like that. And you see I have a few little things here written in. 1/8 is 0.125. It's pretty easy to see that if I had 3 of those it'd equal 0.375. So you can play those kind of games if you want to. A quick way to deal with it is to just build yourself a little table, or go online and find a table to convert for you. These ones here, 0.23, 0.47, 0.83, well those essentially really already are done, because 0.83 really is 83 divided by 100. Those are all okay, we don't even need to do anything with those. Number 14, well I can prove it's true. I can just click in equals 3 divided by 8, check my answer, that's okay. I can type in 5 divided by 8, check that answer, and that's okay. Now let's take a little diversion for a second. So if I just wanted to build a table to figure out fractions, kind of on the fly here. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is underline these guys, and I'm going to put a hash mark line on the right border on those so I can tell what they are. Now we're just going to take whatever's in the numerator, 2, divided by whatever's in the denominator. There's a little caveat here because the numerator is always in row 54. So I'm going to put a $sign on there to freeze that. And that means that whenever I copy my formula, it's always going to use row 54. And we're going to put a $sign in front of the column that goes in the denominator, so we're going to use the column there. So 2 divided by 2 is indeed 1. Copy this over, and then I'm going to double click on, I can do a quick trick, I can just get my left mouse button right over there, double click that, and it's going to fill it all in. So now we have a table of fractions, and we can look it up. So let's add the first one to it, because this isn't as useful as I want. 1, 2, 3. So I'm just going to change that first one up to 9. We don't care what 10 is. I'm going to get rid of that by copying over it. Okay, so 1 divided by 2 is 0.5. 1 divided by 8 is 0.125. 1 divided by 16 is 0.0625. 1/32 is 0.03125. Okay. And 3/8, there's my 3 divided by 8. Let's highlight that guy. And I've got 5/8. There's the 5, there's the 8. There's my 5/8. So at this nice little table I can check everything. Alright, so on to number 16. So number 16 we've got 0.23, 0.47, 0.83, 0.375, 0.625, and they ask us to take all these numbers, and they would like them to be percentages. That's really straightforward. I'm just going to reformat those as percentages. And I've got them all. So 62.5, 37.5, 83, 47, and 23. That's all good. Now I'll convert the following percentages into decimal numbers. So if I can just start typing in percentages because the cell above is already formatted as a percentage. So if I type in 13, it's going to think it's a percent. If I came over here and typed the 13, it's going to say, oh, that's a number. Then if I went and converted it to a percentage, it's going to be big number, 1300%. So you have to be careful when you're using Excel that it tries to interpret what you're doing and look at the cells around the cell you're entering and adjust the format accordingly. So if you really want to enter that, you just enter in 0.13 and change it to a percent. We don't have to do that because we already have those in percentages. So I'll just go ahead and enter the rest of them. 367. I'm just using the down arrow key here to keep going. 35.5. 183.2. And the problem says convert the following percentages into decimal numbers. So I'm just going to highlight them all. It says they're percent. Now all I have to do is click number and I'm done. That's it. Oh, and if I want a couple more decimal places, I can just add those on. So that's pretty much it. That wraps it up, and that's the end of activity 1.1.